Hi guys, I'm Sam,
I'm Nate.
and we're going to start doing some preliminary work so that Nathan can build his first top end. And do it by the book, so to speak. We've got some guidelines. We take a little bit of what Volkswagen does, a little bit of modern piston technology and what we know about combustion science or anything like that. Setting piston rings, especially as far as the ring gaps and whatnot, so there's a whole lot of different philosophies. A lot of that changes based on what style of piston ring you've got. Regardless, we're going to do some checking with these pistons right here. We're going to go through and set our ring gaps, or at least check our ring gaps. So we've got an old piston. Very handy to actually have a piston with the top ring in place, because that just so happens to set our depth for when we check our piston ring. So that's pretty handy there. Another thing is, like I said, different styles of piston rings. Original style piston rings, the oil ring was a pseudo one-piece unit. You had this maybe graphite scraper here with an internal spring. So when you're setting ring gaps, you only have 3 spaces to actually check your gap on, or to line up anyway. And Volkswagen did those gaps at 90 degrees, basically lining up with the wrist pin and the oil gap at the top. We're going to change that up a little bit, but we'll get into that later. Like I said, if you have the ring in place, you can just drop this in top of the cylinder, and that will set our rings in place, and then we can go through and check the gap.
Yeah, so hopefully it should go pretty smooth.
All right, hands are clean.
Looks clean.
And just for ease of packaging, as I imagine why all piston manufacturers install the piston rings and ship them in place, it keeps the pistons in place in the cylinders, keeps them from scraping around, and makes certain that the rings don't get broken in packaging. I can tell you this, when I built my first engine, because I didn't have access to a ring compressor, I did the old trick of just push the cylinder out just far enough.
So you could put the wrist pin in?
So I could put the wrist pin in, and then I pushed it right back in place. You have no idea what those piston rings are set at, and we'll find out here in a moment. So Nathan, if you want to do the honors.
Push it all the way out?
Pop it all the way out.
Oh yeah, it looks way different already, huh?
So you can see that these gaps are already lined up. Our scraper ring.
Oh yeah, except the red in the ring, not overlapped.
20 degrees off of that, and that one's right lined up with it. So chances are this engine would have had a lot of blow-by. Those rings weren't even really 90 degrees apart, and the way they were lined up, not ideal for a proper running engine.
So that is why we put them the right way?
That's why we put them the right way.
Which is this chart, right?
Yep, but first things first, we're going to pull these off. Yeah. We're going to install them one at a time inside of our cylinder, and we're going to check our ring gap. Now, a couple things. Do this one cylinder at a time. We're going to take those away, and we are going to get a marker out. We're going to just write on the journal, number 1. We'll write on here someplace ideally that's not going to get marked off. Number 1, because all these rings that are with this piston, we want to keep them with this piston.
Cylinder?
Cylinder, right.
There's a whole ton of junk and stuff in there.
Yep, and that's another reason why. What do we got there as far as numbers?
85.6. It was 85.7 a second ago.
Now, if we were to put it on the bottom.
85.6 for a second there. 85.5.
What I'm trying to illustrate, and I think that's probably doing a good job, is these are typically slightly smaller at the bottom than they are at the top. Now, we don't want to check our ring gap at the top. We want to check our ring gap
at the bottom?
At the bottom, where the cylinder is smallest. So as this cylinder slides down, that gap will tighten up. So if we were to set a very tight gap at the top, where this cylinder is larger,
it's not going to be it's going to be too tight at the bottom, right?
Because that cylinder, as it goes down, is going to get smaller. So we're going to set our ring gaps at the bottom. For the first time in my life, since I figured if I'm going to show my son how to do it, I might as well show my son how to do it right. I got a pair of piston ring pliers. I know, novel concept. You're going to get in there in between these 2 slots, and you're going to push this together and pull it out.
Okay.
So do that for all those.
Up, rings. Down until.
All of them.
Oh.
All of them come out.
Okay. So like that and off like that, right? Is there a specific order that they need to be in, like top to bottom?
You mentioned. Look at the side profile of that. Is it square? Is it tapered?
It's a bit of an.
It's got an angle right there. Okay. Pull the next one off.
It's more squared.
And there's yet another reason why you want to pull out your rings. Now, these are oil rings, and
Do they come off the same way?
Same way. These are a little bit smaller
Oh,
and easier to get out because they're more flexible.
yeah.
So just like that. And I'll let you do this next one.
Would you just go right where the green and the red mark is?
Nope. You look for the gap.
Oh, there's a gap.
And you can try it with the pliers, but I don't know if it's going to work. Try it.
No, don't think so.
I didn't think so either.
Let's see.
So,
can we push that back? No. Oh, yeah.
Hold on to the rings with your hand, with one hand, and then with the other hand, pull it out carefully. Make certain that you don't scratch the cylinder. I'll do it again.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can pull off the scraper ring.
Which is that, right? Oh, yeah. It's pretty easy, huh?
Green and red, butt up. There you go.
And boom. Wow. That was easy.
It's not perfectly clean, but it's clean enough, especially because we're going to rinse all this stuff out. So now that gives us a nice way to push our new rings in place squarely. So I'm going to set that to the side. Take our ring, and again, we want to make certain that we're paying attention to what side is top and which way that goes. Get that set. That is a very snug ring, I can already see.
Yeah.
Push that down.
Yeah, there's like a tiny bit of a gap. You might be able to...
That is our gap. And for our top ring, we want it to be 15 thousandths of an inch. So I've actually got our feeler gauge over here. We've got our 10 thousandths for our oil ring, 13 thousandths for our second compression ring, 15 thousandths for our top compression ring.
Which this is our top compression ring, right?
This is our top compression ring. So we're going to take this and see if we can fit this in there. And I don't think we can.
Which is what the grinder's for, right?
That's what our grinder's for. We cannot fit that in there. We're going to take this out. So this is just a no-name brand ring grinder I got off of Amazon.
And then just start cranking?
Just do a little bit. Yep. You can always take more off. You can't put more on.
Yeah.
And you can see here that we took off just ever so slightly, hardly nothing. But that's fine. We want to start with less. We can always take more off. We can't put more back on.
And boom, yeah.
And can we fit a 15 thousandths in there yet? No.
Not quite. Just a bit more, huh?
Just a bit more.
Let's see.
Hey, look at that. We got a square grind mark across our entire ring. Push it in.
Boom.
And, well, we can see daylight between the two now, but we still, oh, look at that. We are just about there. Now, that is a very, very snug fit.
I mean, I'd say just do a tiny bit more, maybe.
Yes. Also, we want to be concerned with how our gap looks in there. And actually,
yeah, it looks pretty square.
That's exactly what I was referring to. Our gap looks square. Here, take our feeler gauge. It is in. You know what, buddy?
What?
I'm going to call this one good.
Pretty good, huh?
That one's good.
Okie dokie.
I didn't pay attention. No. Hold on. Was this what I believe should be the top ring, squared across the bottom, usually the one.
That's a middle ring, though, right?
Is this the middle ring or the top ring?
The top ring was the one with the little edge on it.
This is our top ring?
Nope, that is our middle ring.
This is our
because
middle
it has
ring.
a little bevel in it.
Okay.
This is our top ring.
Top ring has the bevel towards the inside.
Yeah.
The middle ring has step on the bottom.
Yeah.
So we just set our bottom ring
to 15.
To
but
15
that's fine because the max is 0.035.
35 thousandths would be our max. Yeah. We've got this one. We'll check it for 13 thou. It's probably, obviously, if 15 thou fits, 13 will because it's less. Yeah. But
let's see if it's a bit smoother.
Yeah. 15 is a tight fit.
Yeah. So hopefully it should be good on the 13, huh?
Yeah. It's still, 13 is a...
kind of snug.
It's a snug fit.
Well, that's good.
So our middle ring, our gap is set on it. Top ring.
Which it should be in, the bevel should be
upward. Be 15. Well, it says on the ring, OE top.
Yeah. See? Boom. And now just press down. So 0.15?
15 thousandths. It's good to go?
That feels, here, feel it.
All right.
That feels pretty darn good.
All right. So.
That one's set.
Yeah.
Boom. That was easy. So now the bottom rings, or the oil rings, should be.
Rings, yeah.
Which are these things? Which that thing shouldn't be set, huh?
Nope.
That's just there.
Those guys should be at 10 thou.
Let's check.
Good to go.
That's good.
All right. Pop that one.
Feels smooth, but not like super shaky.
Perfect.
Like just where we want it, huh? Down and let's see. That's good.
Good to go. All right.
It was just that one that we needed to set, apparently.
Awesome.
Which that was cool, huh?
All right.
And boom, that's
so
one
now
set.
You know what to do. So I'm going to sit back.
One.
Put all your rings in there.
And tape that to the cylinder.
Now, once we set the deck height, we're going to have to use a couple cylinders, and we're going to set these up. This is going to be cylinder number 1. The next one's going to be cylinder number 2, etc., etc., etc.
I think
that way on the engine.
This one should be cylinder number 2 because it's a opposite one. Because this one's together and this one. So now just press it out.
We're going to set this guy aside.
And now number 2. Is that still not enough? No, it doesn't say. It's just slide around.
Good to grow.
Boom! And now throw that back in the trash.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we don't need any of this stuff now.
Not for this step. All right. We're back from dinner. Hopefully I don't have anything in my beard this time. You didn't let me know I had a piece of my beard last time. That was probably kind of silly. All right. We've got some water that we've tinted blue with a marker. And happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It's Valentine's Day, and here we are in the garage. Note, we do have spark plugs in all 4 of our chambers. Are these ones threaded in as much as those ones are? No, they're not.
That's not good.
Let's do that. All right, we'll wipe those combustion chambers down on that side.
You might as well do it on all 4, though.
So, you guys have seen me do this many times. Oh, maybe you haven't. If you guys are new to watching JBugs videos, now that we've got our vlog series, they're a little bit more for entertainment and fun. But you're still going to learn something on occasion.
Yeah, potentially. And sometimes I learn stuff.
All of this is for teaching you. So someday, you'll be doing this stuff without me. Like working on cars, which you say you do.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to do this without me one day. I ain't going to be here for everybody. Make certain that this thing stays
level, huh?
Level-ish.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Level enough.
So we've got a syringe. We've got a little clear plastic cup. This will sit over the top of our combustion chamber. And we're going to take note of how much water goes in this cup. A little bit more than 60 mLs at this point. 60 mLs?
Yeah, about at that.
And now we're just going to
inject the fluid, huh?
Injection molding.
So what does the blue water do exactly?
It fills up the combustion chamber. And there we go. All right, now we're getting up to that point where, well, these got some big chambers. That's almost, well, never mind. That is 60 cc's.
Oh, yeah, so that's how it works, huh?
We can't get some of that air level out. Oh, there we go. A little bit of tension right there.
But we're
Yeah,
just
we're
going
going to get a little bit more water. So that's 60 cc's. We'll fill up on that. Let's see if we can get some of this water, this air to escape.
Oh, yeah, huh? I think we might need just a tiny bit more water.
We got some big combustion chambers on these guys.
Yeah, huh? Is that necessarily a good thing, or?
It's going to be a safe thing. It's not going to have tons of power. But got one of them. Come on. There we go. Got that off the edge.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Definitely going to need a tiny bit more, huh? And boom, there we go.
All right. What do we have left? 16 cc's. So we put in 64 cc's of a liquid. All right, that's how much volume is in that chamber. Now we're going to do the same thing over here.
Boom.
All right. So how much do we have left?
16, 17, yeah, 17.
Yeah, 20 to start with?
Yeah.
So 1 milliliter. I mean, we actually got a little bit gap still in there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try to put 1 more ml in. That's a little bit more than 1 ml, but yeah. Pull it out just a touch. Yeah. 16. All right. So these are both the same size. Let's check one of these guys over here. Did you take note of how much you put in there?
About 1. I'm like there.
We're going to call that one 62 cc combustion chamber.
Yeah. That's close enough, right?
Grab that cup.
Okay.
Make sure that all of our and just make sure that all of the keepers and seats and everything else on our springs for our valves is all set.
And boom, now throw it together.
No, now we can go check our deck height. everything that we do, if we're going to do one piston, we're going to set number 3. Number 3 typically runs the hottest because it's farthest away from the center line of the fan, and that's why Volkswagen went to the doghouse oil cooler, etc., yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But anyway, everything we do, if we only do one cylinder, we work on number 3.
Yeah.
So watch your eyes, because you always have a way of getting your eyes in the way
Of the brake cleaner, huh?
of the brake clean.
So what exactly are we doing?
We are going to check our deck height. That is how much or how far up in the cylinder the piston travels. We'll do that at top dead center.
Does that mean that we put the wrist pin in?
We put the piston in the cylinder, in the wrist pin, etc., 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 etc.
Which means the rings too, right?
Nope, we don't use the ring. Cylinder number 3. We're doing everything at cylinder number 3, so we're going to use cylinder 3, piston 3. So we're going to set that, get that started in there. Now note, we want to make sure that that arrow indicates towards the flywheel. Start the wrist pin first.
Yeah. There we go.
Squared in.
It's super actually smooth.
And you got to make sure that you line up with the rod, just like we are. All right.
Go
Same
in.
thing. When it's square. Oh, there you go.
Boom.
Everything there. Whew, this is not going to be a high compression engine. Good grief. Am I not all the way down?
No, it doesn't look like
I
it.
don't think we are all the way down, are we?
No.
There we go. I was going to say. Whew,
Yeah,
that
gosh.
was nowhere near all the way down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's gonna have a whole maybe.
5 horsepower.
Yeah.
These we're just going to snug everything up.
Yeah, because that's not gonna permanently stay on there, of course, huh?
No.
Yeah.
You got to make sure the cylinder is seated against the case. Snug. Snug. So according to the crankshaft, that is top dead center. And if I was to go to move it a degree this way, should look good.
Yeah.
A degree that way. Yep, I would agree. So that is top dead center. Now we're going to put some feeler gauges in there and see how much room do we have in there. And actually, all right, we can. I can't get a fingernail in there, but 49 plus 23 is what?
49, 59, 69. Nice. And then 3, 70, 71, 72. Yeah. Huh. That's cool.
Well, we don't have 72 thousandths of deck height. Go with 11. We have 11 in here. And I put 11
So we only
thousandths.
need to do this on one, right?
I'm going to do them on this one, and we're going to check the other side as well.
In number. That's
Check
number
number
1, right?
Yep.
Which
So
is
this
opposite,
is
right?
60 thousandths.
I
That
mean-
might be. That might be about it. I can probably do a little bit more. Let's see. That was 11 and 49. That would have been 60. Put like 65. So let's go 16 thou. Dead center. Dead center still.
Were you
And
going?
that's fit snug. So we got 65 thousandths, 64 cc combustion chamber over here. Let's
Yeah, I
write
mean-
that down. This makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
So 3, 4. Number 3, we've got 65 thousandths deck height. We've got 64 cc combustion. Let me take those numbers.
Calculate on the Samsung tablet.
I want to calculate on JBugs.com. JBugs compression calculator. Boom, boom, boom. Cylinder bore. 85.5.
Oh.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
can't get away from our marketing department. Stroke, stock, 69. Nice. We are going deck height in inches, 0.065. Combustion chambers are 64. All for compression. Oh, wow. That's pretty low. 6.4 to 1 compression rate. So this is going to be a very low compression. So we will take this rig off, put this cylinder away, grab our other cylinder for number 1, and we'll do the same step on the opposite side of the engine.
That should be top center.
That is top dead center.
Okay. So now, feels snug. Feels about right.
65 thou on both sides. So a decent set of quality as far as those go. So at this point,
All we really need to do is just assemble it, huh?
Mr. Speedy over here just wants to put this thing together right now. But we still have to clean every single piston, every single cylinder, all the rings, the wrist pins, the clips. The case needs a wipe down, obviously. But yeah, tomorrow, maybe, we can start on the assembly. We've got all that to do. Plus, we have cleanup on the heads to do. Maybe we can do a little bit of that tonight.
Yeah, because we just put water on them.
Stuff to clean up for our cooling passages. Actually, never mind. These passages are really, really nice. These are some good castings. They might be low compression, but I'll be doggone it if they don't have some nice looking castings. So we can look through there. See Nathan through all those passages. All those passages through all those fins and those cylinder heads. I mean, these castings are super, super clean. Even through here, a lot of times you'll see oftentimes where these things are misaligned and there's a whole bunch of flashing in between them. It's actually really clean.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's a little bit right here actually, so I'm going to clean that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can catch that on the camera. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4, 5. And these 5 bottom grooves, there's a little bit of flashing that goes up to the edge. So I'm going to clean that up, but otherwise these things look really, really good.
Yeah.
Even down the centers here where the thermostat rod would go, they look clean. There's a little bit of flashing. Take a little flush cut tool. Down the line. That side looks good. Spin it around and you do so. Just like that. Hold this up for something white background. Let's try not to drop this thing.
A bit of dust.
It's dust and like molding flash. It's just in between the castings where you just get a little bit of flash. This is all the material we're taking out. Hardly nothing at all. All right, Nathan, you got to do the next one.
Way better.
All of them?
Yeah.
Nice. We've got everything set up, ready to go. We've got our piston ring gap set. We've got our head CC'd. We know what our deck height is. Opposite sides of the case, we're going to trust that Volkswagen made these things the same. Seeing as we have the same deck height on one side as we did on the other, I'm going to trust that all 4 of those are the same, at least on the castings. But either way, we're not dealing with a high compression motor. 6.2, 6.4, 6.7,
Yeah.
somewhere in that neighborhood. But along those lines, we'll get things cleaned up on the case and all of our parts, and we're going to start assembling this tomorrow. He's going to start assembling this tomorrow because this is his motor, his build.
With some supervision, of course.
With some adult supervision. I'm not going to say professional supervision because I'm not a professional engine builder.
Me neither, definitely.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
But on that note, we're going to call it a night. Life's full of good people.
If you can't find one,
Be one. Later, guys.